월요일날 아침 6시가 막 지났습니다. 자, 우리 생활에서 필요한 토픽에 관한 글을 좀 읽겠습니다. Talk about the Bank of Korea. Like many other countries, Korea has a central bank. The Bank of Korea was established in Seoul in 1950. With the primary goal of price stability. The BOK performs a variety of tasks. It print and distribute currency and also formulate monetary policies, plus in managing the nation's foreign exchange reserve. It also lend money to not only the government, but also other commercial banks. Every decision that the central bank makes has a major ripple effect in the financial sector. For example, setting the benchmark interest rate at a fairly low level can spur economic activity by boosting investment and employment. On the other hand, the BOK can push up the interest rate to curb inflation. Earlier this year, Kim succeeded Lee as the new BOK governor. My friend is the immigration to the U.S. Talk about the friend who is moving away. I have a friend who has been like a family for 6 years. At first, we usually met for play date, but our husbands eventually became close pals as well. We really grew close, congratulating each other's happy occasion and sharing our sadness. But my friend's family will be moving overseas to Las Vegas in the state because of her husband's job. It must have been a tough call for her to move to the U.S. After all, she has 3 young kids and she's leaving behind her own job. My friend's husband moved to the state first, and she's tying up loose ends here in Korea. We are studying English together with Ip Tu Young every day. It will be hard to overcome the language barrier and the cultural differences, but I hope there are only good things in store for my friend's family. What kind of fruits do you like? I tug into a wide selection of fresh fruit because they are both tasty and loaded with vitamins. There's nothing quite like seasonal fruits. I go bananas over crisp apples and juicy, mouth-watering watermelon. Thankfully, in Korea, we can get our hands on a variety of ripe fruits all year round. Come summer, it will be the optimal watermelon season. It's important to know how to cherry-pick the right fruit. For instance, to determine the ripeness of a watermelon, your best bet is to tap the outside and listen for a hollow sound. I also love fruits that are unique to Korea. The Korean pear, also known as pear, is excellent. It melts in your mouth. Talk about how you use the GPS. I depend on my GPS a lot when I'm driving. I have gotten so used to using it, I can't seem to get anywhere without it now. In the past, I used to have a separate GPS installed in my car, but not anymore. I use the GPS app on my cell phone. It's much more accurate because it gets regular update. Because the app is connected to the network, it shows me the fastest way based on real-time traffic condition. It gives me different routes depending on how the traffic is. I have a phone holder on the dashboard, and I put my phone there when I'm driving. I plug in my phone in the Sega jack to charge it while I use it as my GPS. Talk about the importance of one's mindset. I tend to overthink the things. Usually my positive thoughts are outweighed by various concerns. As a result, I often think negative thoughts. I always think of the worst case scenario whenever I do anything. I prepare plan Bs. When I take on a new challenge, I always research the potential pitfalls. I also worry about my health a lot. Even lighter symptoms make me nervous about severe illness. But I have realized that these thoughts are wrecking my ability to be at ease in my day-to-day life. I'm trying to avoid coming up with fears that don't even exist. Instead, I try to think happy thoughts. I hope to keep a sunny outlook and to maintain a steadfast mindset to avoid feeling down. Talk about cyber universities. A cyber university is a school that has been officially recognized for higher education courses by the Ministry of Education. The top selling point of cyber universities is that students can attend courses without being bound by time or location. Second, repeat viewings of lectures make it easy to review content that you didn't quite get. The third draw is that tuition fees are low and therefore less of a burden to students. Of course, there are drawbacks as well. Each individual's will to learn becomes more important. Classmates can meet in person, so there is very little interaction. I am currently giving lectures for the cyber university. It takes 5 times as long to prepare for a class than it would for an in-person lecture. It takes a lot of work to produce the content, and I have to start 6 months in advance. Talk about the constipation. Constipation refers to being unable to move one's bowels for a long time or having hard stool. It makes you feel full even when you are hungry. It's a common symptom, and it can happen to anyone. It sometimes occurs when someone doesn't drink fluid enough, or when they eat very little. Eating habits that are heavy on meat and flour can also cause the problem. Being stressed out or going to the bathroom irregularly is another cause. For women put on open goal number 2, away from home. Constipation can occur more often. There are various cures, medicines, or diet therapy can be used. However, an irregular lifestyle can cause constipation again. Regular motions are important for one's health. There are many functional drinks and food you can buy for help. Cycling. Talk about the last time you went for a bike ride. There is a big park not far from my house. I went there to ride my bike last weekend because the weather was fine. I went to get some exercise because I haven't been active recently. I worked up a sweat and burned some calories by riding around the entire park. After exercising like this, I felt refreshed. I plan to go again next week. Time permitting, biking is a great way to exercise without going overboard. Talk about how more and more people are riding their bikes. The number of cycling enthusiasts in Korea is steadily rising. Some people cycle alone at nearby parks. Others join common interest groups and go on cycling adventures in groups. With many new cycling passes being laid all over the place, bicycling is getting easier. Lots of people commute by cycle too. They can save money and exercise while they are at it. So it's very beneficial. Bicycling on a regular basis is a great way to maintain one's health. Tell us about Incheon International Airport. The Incheon International Airport was named the best airport in the world from 2006 to 2009. It officially opened for service in 2001 after the 1988 Seoul Olympics. It became obvious that Korea needed a bigger airport. Incheon International is located on Yeongjong Island. It is connected to the mainland by the Incheon International Airport Expressway. The airport aims to become the main hub airport in Northeast Asia. It is planning to increase its capacity in 4 stages. When the last stage is completed in 2020, the airport will have 2 passenger terminals and 128 gates altogether. The goal is to handle 100 million passengers a year. Talk about the parents. Just hearing the word mom makes me choke up. During my adolescence, I hated watching my mom work so hard, and she sacrificed everything for her kids. I vowed to be different, and dreamed of becoming a Dink couple, Dink, D-I-N-K. But in the end, I got married and had 3 kids. Just like my mom, I gave my all to my kids as I raised them and worked at my job. My mom lives alone now. I want to be a source of energy for her in her twilight years. So I call her up, open, and tell her how much I love her. Meanwhile, I've raised my daughter as Alpha girls. I feel proud when I see them take charge of their lives. I'm rooting for them to break the glass ceiling and soar higher and higher. Describe your daily routine on weekends. Before the weekend, I usually hit the sack before midnight. Even on weekends, I wake up at 7 o'clock sharp and work out until 8 o'clock. Then I spend the morning studying subjects related to my field of work. After lunch, I go for a walk in the park in front of my house. I recently found a walking trail that's just right for me. I use an app to get my steps in. In the afternoon, I take it easy and get some reading done. After eating dinner and taking a bath, I study foreign language. For English, I use the Iptium study material, basic conversation books, and grammar books. As a third language, I'm also studying Chinese on my own. After devoting my weekend to studying and exercising this way, I feel a sense of pride that I have developed myself. Talk about how you can prevent the back problems. When you have chronic back pain, it's harder to live a normal life. Back problems usually don't go away easily, so it's important that you don't get it in the first place. The most important thing is to maintain good posture. Some people hunch over their desk and have bad posture. The pressure placed on your back from this is not good. You can be prone to scoliosis. 이런 단어가 있네. If you have a bad posture, this is a condition where your spine curves the wrong way. Our discs in our spines can also wear out as we get older. This can lead to a herniated disc, ruptured disc. Talk about unemployment pay. After working for a company until July of last year, I decided to pack it in, and now I am between jobs. When someone in Korea leave their jobs because of issues with the company, such as corporate restructuring or financial difficulties, they can receive unemployment pay for a certain amount of time. Of course, you must have paid for unemployment insurance for at least 6 months to be eligible to apply for unemployment pay. To receive unemployment pay, you must undergo training, go job hunting, and present the necessary documents to the local employment welfare center. Those over 65 years old can't apply for unemployment pay. At 61 years old, I am at the cusp. I hope that they will extend the age limit for this system. 야, 특이한 표현이 많네. 특이한 표현이 많아. talk about the fall you had on a winter day. Accidents tend to occur more often during winter. It's because the freezing temperatures leave our joints and muscles tense and stiff. Not to mention that winter wear tend to be bulkier and harder to move around in. As if that wasn't bad enough, the ice and snow make the street and sidewalks very slippery. Last winter, I felt pretty hard in front of the bus stop near my house. I was almost at the bus stop when I saw my bus arrive up ahead. I was already late for work and didn't want to miss it. I started running, waving my hands at the bus driver to wait. All of a sudden, I felt my feet slip out from under me and I landed on my butt on the icy snow. Thankfully, my hand took the brunt of the fall, but I was still pretty sore. It was humiliating because the entire bus witnessed my fall. How did you pay for college? Well, I got a scholarship and my parents helped me out a little too. That must have been helpful. How about you? I had to get through college myself. Is that right? Did you get a school loan? Yes, I took out a loan and I also took up a part-time job working at a coffee shop. Did you make money when you were in college? Yes, I tutored middle school students in English and math. I didn't have to ask for an allowance from my parents thanks to that. Are you done paying off your student loans? Almost. I have only 3 or 4 months to go. That's good. Oh, did you live on campus in college? Yes, I lived in a dorm in my first and second year. I moved out to an apartment off campus in my junior year, though. Did you live in a dorm? No. I lived with my parents until I got out of school. Influencer marketing. Talk about influence marketing on social media. In the past, products were mostly promoted through newspaper ads or TV commercial, but these days, influencer marketing is being widely used to promote products. There is hardly a company these days that does not make use of influence marketing. Some influencers, like the celebrities and other big names, are mega influencers. Meanwhile, macro influencers operate online message boards, blogs, or YouTube channels. YouTubers who have a lot of subscribers are especially influential these days. Influencer marketing has its pros and cons. It's because influencers usually generate content by being sponsored by corporations. That's why consumers trust influencers that are more sincere.